everything that we learned. This would be very similar to what you would do when you're setting up a property, except that you would go through the steps. If you're using a conversion, you'll go through the steps on the conversion when you bring in the homeowners, their beginning balances, and reconciling that. And if I haven't, all of you, I know one of you have done a TOPS conversion, but we haven't gone over the data, or if you had any questions, and the other two you're still waiting. So I will be meeting with you shortly, and we'll move forward on that front. But so today I'm going to be using DMS import to bring in my homeowners and things like that. So I'm ready to begin if you are. So what we would do, we're going to go on the premise that we have a good master template set up. So you'll go into Setup, Property Setup. You're going to go to the ribbon, and where the green plus sign is, we'll go down, and we're going to add a property. Okay, and it's Treasure Cove, and it's an HOA, and I'm going to copy the default for my master template. And then I'm going to start this as of today. So I'm going to bring all my beginning balances as of August here. So I'm going to say OK. Now, it's going to say from the master, which one of these things do you want to copy over to your new property? And I'm going to let them all copy over. Now, if I didn't want the vendors, then I could uncheck vendors. If you didn't want to bring over the compliance because it's different, then you can uncheck it. Or there's a delinquency control, maybe they're all different. And I'm going to just uncheck, I'm going to leave them all there. So I'm going to say copy property. I never know if I hit it directly sometimes. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it says it's copied. So I will go to my new property, Treasure Cove. So this is the office that manages it. So my office is going to be the Virginia office. Anything I put here is just for information only about this property, because remember the mailing address is all connected through that location key in program default. So location would be this office here, except that I grabbed the wrong one. I wanted that one. Now, I'm going to go to the accounting tab, and I'm going to complete the different settings. So when I first start a property, I want to make sure that my GL post is off. I will then come in here, and I'm going to say this wasn't set up on my master, or it would have copied. It's the equity is the category that my net income is going to be put to, and my suspense account is right there. I like my net income to say net income / loss. So I'm going to change that. And if I had done it on my master, I should have used another property, but the departments will be there. So I have my departments, my chart of accounts copied over. So now the only thing I need to do is update this information. So if my bank wasn't CAB, I could go to the bank, I could right-click, say Add Bank, go in and find the bank that they use. So maybe it was Alliance or Citizens or whoever. I drop and drag them. I'll go back to my accounting. Then I could go in here and link the correct bank. I'm going to keep this CAB because I already did my chart of accounts. And then I'm going to put on here, this was my reserve. Now, whatever I type in here is what's going to show on my balance sheet. This is the same, so I'm just going to copy, paste that. Then I'll put my account numbers here, and I'll put my first check number. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay. Any banks that I don't need or account numbers that this property may not use my master, I can make them inactive at this time. That will just prevent those account numbers from showing up when I'm doing drop downs in the future. So, you know, and then I'll uncheck them if they get more checking or fees or whatever. So you can do, and I'm going to rename this accounts receivable. Now you can make any changes. This time is the perfect time to update if you wanted something to be named a little bit different. I also want this to be a reserve account. After you post data to these accounts, things like the type, I can't change. You can change the name or the category at any time, but to change things like a type or you cannot do that after you post an entry to it. So this is correct. I've got my chart of accounts. I updated that, made sure my departments was there. I double-checked my information. So I'm going to go over to AP, and they are an accrual, and so that's perfect. I'm not going to do anything there. AR, the main information, this association wants to post by the hierarchy. They're not a cash, but if they were, I would check right here. This code is for when we haven't learned about posting fines through compliance, but if we do, that's the code I want them to use. And the last billing was 8-1, so I can just leave that. That's more informational. In the future, when I go post, when I do the billing, this will update automatically. I'll go look at my AR posting codes. Are these in the order that I want? This account doesn't have a PayPal account, so I'm going to delete that AR posting code. This is my payment, and a second, backspace. Okay. Then I have all different things. This association wants this capital contribution paid first, so I'm going to put it up at the top. Then I have assessments. They want late fees to be applied before, but if I had my most common denominator set up correctly, then I wouldn't have to go through this step. Also, for some reason, this is a bad part if someone uses my database, some of my codes got deleted. So now, if I put everything like boat slips in my master and they copied and this one doesn't have one, then just right over it and delete the posting code. If you try to delete a posting code when you do a conversion, or if you've done a conversion and you brought data in and you said, oh, we don't use that posting code anymore. Well, there is data. If the conversion process populated that code on this screen, then there has been data posted with that code on that homeowner record. And if you were to go to delete it, so if I right-click over it and I try to delete it like this, I will get this error that will say, you can't, some resident has used this code and you can only now make it active. So you can never delete anything once data has been posted to it, okay? So back here. So they don't have boat slips either, so I'm going to click, I'm going to delete that posting code. This is really simple. They don't have cable either. Okay, so we have very simple things here. Except that I'm clicking the wrong buttons here. So this would have been late fees. Okay, and that's fine. And this was 40050. Okay, remember all credit types, the credit side of the entry is prepaid. Now, on this association, the only fee here that should get charged if they don't pay it, but should be used in the calculation for late fees, is assessments. So I'm going to check this box here, late fee. And when money comes, I want them to automatically apply to these charges. So I'm just going to check that. If I don't check that, when I post money to their accounts, I have to manually run a process called apply application. So I'm going to just let the software do that. Okay, so I've got my posting codes. There's debits and credits. I double checked, except that here. And you guys can speak up if you see something that might not be right, like if you had noticed that was missing. I don't mind one bit. Okay, so my debits and credits shouldn't have had to do this. They should have copied from my master. Somebody's played with my master. Okay, coupons. Nothing copied over. So I'm going to go to a property. This is a good thing. There's nothing there. I'm going to go to a property that I know this information is there. And I can, there we go. See the icon up here in the ribbon, the piece of paper? I can say copy this information. It'll ask me to where. I can say treasure. And then those are the information I can copy. Unfortunately, coupon definitions isn't there because it's reading that OCR line and thinks it's there. But if this had been a perfect world, all I would have had to do is change this right here and put Treasure Cove. And all the other information would have filled in. Because I would have had care of the property management company here. And then, so this first remit to is where your lockbox payment is going to be. Okay. Now, all that information is filled out. I need to bring in my homeowners. My homeowners are in HOAs, so I need to create a community for them to be entered. So I'm going to come here to the drop down. I'm going to say add community. And I only need one. They have a flat rate. So I'm going to say Treasure Cove. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pick my default department and the posting code for my lockbox. I'm going to put in the coupon code that I have with the bank. I'm going to say print coupons. Anything else you want to do here is up to you. If you want to put in notes about it or the number of units, it doesn't go anywhere, so I'm just going to leave it blank. But I am going to go set my billing up. So I get to bill owner accounts. I'm going to say this is their monthly assessment. And I'm going to put in the posting code. The posting code on this one is everything that I have set up in AR on the accounting AR posting codes. The type would be a fixed amount for this property. And it's monthly on the first day of the month. And I wanted to bill $120. Okay. And I'm going to start this on 9/1/2015. Okay, so I have that all in place. I can go in to the rest of the information. Things I already put in there. You know the number that has like 16 over dash, that goes here. So if you want to add that for your checks, I forget what it's called though, but I'm sure you all know, the bank branch code, that's where it goes. Okay, I'm going to go to employees. All properties must have at least one employee that is there as the manager. So type, manager, leader. This type is going to be accountant. And I only want correspondence for accountant. So every property must have at least one employee, that is manager and the leader. If I wanted to add different kinds of fee sets, this, NSF fee for this is $10. That doesn't do anything except it just gives you a place to put any fees, like if they had a capital contribution. This is used primarily for condo search. Okay. Insurance. I'll right-click, add insurers. These are my list of insurance companies that I set up in Program Defaults. So they have Allstate. And then I can go in and I can put in the different policy types. My policy number, start and stop, expand this, and add any other information that I want to put in there. Vendors. Now all vendors get imported into the property in Program Defaults. They don't get loaded into a particular property, so now I want to add them. So I'm going to go to my vendor tab. I'm going to right-click and say Add Vendors, and I'll go in here and I will add the different vendors that this association uses. So you can just drop and drag, just like that.
Is it possible to add all of the vendors to a particular property rather than one at a time?
No, it's a one at a time thing. It won't let me go like this and do. I was trying to hit shift, the shift button. You have to do them one at a time. Oh, you know what? I think it's called Dominion Power. It's kind of looking for Dominion Power because some of them but okay. So Terminex, that sounds good. And come here. State Farm. Sorry about this, guys. Okay. Okay, so you can do it here, or you can do this in property setup in Program Defaults, but it does take longer. So, because usually you just have your list. Now, one of the things I do want to remind you is when you add your vendors, you're going to want to add your beginning balances. So if you are going to 1099 this company, the beginning balance, you want to come over here and you will want to add that. So on here, I'm just looking down at my beginning balance things, and I paid this company $30,000, $31,000, $44.90. $31,040. There we go. So I want that amount to be included on the 1099 at the end of the year. So you be sure to put in anybody that you need to 1099, put their beginning balances. All right. Now I can go in and bring my homeowners in. So I'm going to get out of here.
Carolyn, I have one more question on vendors.
Okay.
So if you add all the vendors that you're going to be using to the master template and use the master template to create a new property, do those vendors then also come across, or do you have to do that each time?
No. If you link them to the master, when you create the property and use the master as your template, all those vendors will come over.
Okay.
So you only have to do that one time. Okay, I thought you were going to ask me something about vendors, so I came over here, but you got it. So, okay. I'm going to open my VMS import. Did it not pop up? There we go. Okay. Thought maybe I missed it somehow. Come on, where are you? Oh, here you are. Okay, there it is. So we're bringing in our units. Now, this is my file. I'll show you the file. here it is. So remember, this is the order that when I tell the software these import fields that I need to emulate. So the account number, all of this. Now, before I save this spreadsheet, I'll delete this header. So I'll say delete. And then I'm going to say File, Save As, and I'm going to it's a tab delimited. Then I would come down here and choose my tab delimited, and then I would say Save. And you always get all these pop-ups because it wants to make sure you really want to do that. I never did it the second time because I know that it is, it already saved it. Okay, now I'm going to come over here, sorry, and I'm going to get my file. So I saved it in, nope. Okay, it was a tab delimited, and now because I created my property and my community, I will see it there. If you don't see your property here and you're bringing in units, it's because you forgot to create a community. I'm going to right-click and add my fields, but you also can use this folder here and grab, so I have unit, import, tab, and you also have all this. I'm going to say open. Now, I'm going to use these arrows here to put them in the right order. So my first column had prior account number, and then I had first name, last name. So these are in the wrong order, so I'm going to move that. Then I had street number, street name. I didn't have units because these are apartments, but on my spreadsheet, I forgot to delete the column. So I'm actually going to delete this field because it'll throw an error, but I'm going to tell the software, if I go to unit, there's one that says blank. And I'm going to grab that so it knows to overlook that column. So I'm going to come up here. Okay, then I had city, state, zip. Then I had on my spreadsheet address 1 and 2, which is right here. And then I had city, state, zip. Then I had telephone and email. So that's exactly the order I had them in. Now I'll go over to import and we'll look and see if it, so street number, that's good. The name of the street, that's good. The name of the city, the state, and the zip code. If I expand these, I will see there's the prior account number. I can expand those and see the different names. If I'm happy with that, I will hit import right here, and then they'll come in. Now, I noticed an error here. This one says Las Vegas instead of Leesburg, but I don't want to get it out of my spreadsheet and fix it, so I'm going to fix it in VMS. Okay, so there's my records. So we'll go and go to entry. We're going to go into account maintenance. Okay, there it is. Now, let's make it a little bit smaller for easy to see. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to open the panel, and we're going to go into our new property. And there they are. Okay. Now, I know I need to fix one. So that was a property setup, and I know that it was this one. So if I came over here and I look, it will say Las Vegas. So I'm going to just fix that. Now this is the mailing address. So I fix it on the mailing address. I'm going to go to the unit maintenance and fix it. So usually on unit maintenance, you never really have to go back and change anything because it's a constant. But on this one, there was an error, so I need to fix it. Now I know it's Nevada. It's right there. So I'm just going to update the information. Okay. This one created a record, but there's no homeowner attached to it because it was on my spreadsheet. When I saved it, I didn't realize there was a character in that line. So the software came in and brought in this kind of blank on this unit that has really it does not need to be there. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to right click over it and I'm going to delete the unit. Now, if there was a homeowner connected to it, it will delete that and the homeowner record, and if you're doing a conversion, any AR that was attached to it. So be careful on deleting. You want to make sure that's exactly what you wanted to do. On this case, I knew that's what I wanted to do, so I was safe. So if I go back, see here was the record right there. If I refresh, that record will disappear. You might have to do by going back and going back. Maybe I'll have to get out and come back in. Anyway, so it won't let you delete one if you don't have permissions, by the way. Now I need to bring in their beginning balances. So the prior management company gave me their prior balances, and you can do two things. You can come in and you can create a adjustment batch, they're both going to come into adjustment batch no matter what. I'm going to go to adjustments. Okay. And I'm going to create an adjustment batch, say yes. Now I could go in here and pull one at a time and enter in their balances. And that's perfectly fine. You know, you just grab that over there. You would say, okay, assessment, how much the assessment was. Let's put it at this one. Okay, 120. And I'm going to say balance forward. And they had a late fee. So you can okay. Or you can do this. So I made a spreadsheet ahead of time, and I'm going to take out those two that I just entered. I'm going to hit delete. Okay. So I know they were on this. This is the name of the code. The AR posting code has to match AR perfectly. You put the amount. You format this as a number with no commas, so it doesn't have 18,000. Now, the only thing missing here is the fact that I didn't know the account number, okay? So for right now, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in 93967, the account number. So you can decide whether you think this is an easier way for you to do it. And I'm going to show you how easy and nice it is to bring it in. So let me grab some account numbers here. Okay. 9396. Okay, and then like that one, 93955, 93955, 93961. Okay, so there's my units. It has to be in exact order. Count. This row has to be account. This has to be date, AR posting code, amount, check number, even though I don't have anything in here, and memo. I'm going to come here. I'm going to say File, Save As, and this time this needs to be saved as a comma delimited, so a CSV. And I'm going to say AR beginning balance, CSV, yeah. I always want to say CVS, like the drugstore. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. That's for the next thing we're going to do. Okay, so if you look at the one I created, once you create the template, it allows you to create the adjustment badge. You'll see this right here, and I can say what template. Now, the one I just created, I left the header on it. I didn't delete it. So I'm going to grab the one that says header. Then I'm going to use this arrow, and I'm going to go find the folder that I created my. So here it is. Now, what it will do, oh, rats, 93967. Okay, didn't like that one number, so let me fix it. Oh. 9367. 93. Is that error? Yeah, I know. I have it open somewhere else. I really did need you to tell me which the error was. Oh, rats. I grabbed the wrong file. Sorry, guys. Close. Close. File. Recent. Oh, it's this one here. 93967. So date, oh, that was the problem, guys. I had him in the wrong order. Okay, the problem was I put the account first. I needed to put the date first. So even I, who have done this a million times, makes mistakes. File, save as, and again, I'm going to do it as the CSV file, save. Okay. Okay, so now we should have success, and I apologize. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go in. We're going to go grab that file. And there we go. So brings it in that quick. So it is a nice feature, especially if you have a huge property with a lot. It gives you a little bit of control to see if you have all the numbers in there correctly. If you're happy, now I want these to be on today's date, so I don't have to say that posted date. But if I had put in 7/1 or 7/31, you want to make sure you hit set posted date. So I'm going to go in and post this batch, and there we go. So there are areas like I'm going to also show you the general ledger that we're going to bring in the general ledger the same exact way. It makes it easier, and there's a lot of things, especially the general ledger, that you can prepare early. So after you do this, what you want to do is you want to run 2 reports. This is very important, whether you're doing a conversion or you're bringing a VMS import. You're going to go to reports, you're going to go to report generator, and you're going to run an aging report and a prepaid report. Those numbers should match your trial balance. Okay, so find my property. I'm going to go into, and like I said, we have a lot of different reports. So here's a delinquency report as of today. So this one is 0 and above, so for balances. All right, so here, so it's $38,193.18. Then I will run a prepaid report, same period, through today. I'm going to look at that. It should be $3,000. Perfect. All right. Now I am going to go and I'm going to turn my GL post on. So I'm going to go into entry. I'm going to go to general ledger. No, I'm not. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go into setup. I'm going to go to property setup. I'll pick my property, treasure. Accounting, GL. I'm going to put it in property posting. My default department is the operating. All right. Now I'm going to go and put in my beginning balances. So I'll go into entry, general ledger, and I'm going to go to journal entry. Now, if you go to journal entry and you do a drop down and your property is not there, it's because your GL post hasn't been turned on yet. So this is going to be my balance forwards. Now, I did another thing before class. I went in and I created a template, and I want to show you the template. So the template has the chart of account number, the debit, a credit, and a memo. And notice that even when you create the spreadsheet, that each column must have something in it. So even though the debit for that cash account is this $98,000, I need to have this 00 in here. Once you put all your beginning balance in, then you can come here and then save as. And then again, it needs to be a CSV file. And then I'll close this. Okay, now I'm going to go and choose the template, so one with the header. Go like that. I'll find my file. So it is General Ledger Beginning Balances, and there it is. Now, if it comes in like this, that means the GL account number that I selected on my spreadsheet was not there. So I can just go back here and look. 20,000. I bet I know what that is. That was, oh, I had a feeling that wasn't there. Okay. So I was missing a few, which meant that the chart of accounts so you want to make sure that anything that you put on this spreadsheet, that you have a GL account number listed, or you're going to be doing exactly what I'm doing right here. So this one was, okay, so 65. Nope, that's not what I wanted. We'll leave it. And one more. This one had to do with pool 2. Okay. So once you're happy, and your debits and credits, but see how easy that was? So, that's something you will do ahead of time. I mean, if you're just setting up a property, you know what your chart of accounts is. So this is a nice, easy way to have that ready so the day you decide to start. Now, you also, very important, this AR number and my prepaid must equal my reports that I just printed, that age and prepaid. If it doesn't match now, it's never going to match. So when you go and run your aging and prepaids, it'll never tie out, okay? Must match now. So I don't need to do that because it's today's date. So I'm going to post it, and there we go. So that makes it really simple to bring in those beginning balances. Did you look at that? I can tell you just love it. Okay, and there I go. My equity account. My inquiry, and I can take a look at it. Now I'm going to go put in my budgets. So I'll go to budget. I'll come down here. I'll find my property. I'm going to come to the plus sign at the top. I'm going to say 2015 budget. And it's going to start 2015. Now you can do the drop down and go back, like that, but I find it faster for me, so I just type it in. Plus. Do you guys ever hear the Jeopardy theme song in the background while you're waiting? Do, 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 do. Okay. When it first comes up, I won't see anything. I need to uncheck blank rows. It's going to show me full departments. I only want to see my operating right now. And then you would just come in here. And like I said, if you know what, most of the time you just come in here and take your annual budgets and you'll put them in there. So let's go in and and the divided by sign here, and then adjust values. That was all the income that except that I typed it in wrong. So there we go. There we go, much better. I'm going to minimize this. I'll come in here, and then I'll just start putting my expenses. Do you all remember the different symbols, what they all stand for? So if I wanted accounting, and I knew that I was going to have, I'm going to go professional fees. Where are you? There we go. So they pay that in April. So I can go in here and I can put in the different areas right into the month that they want it, or you can divide it equally. So if I had copies, I would go in and I'll put in the amount. I'll do a adjustment divided by. Now, I usually do them all at once and not this part, one at a time. Now, you can do divided by takes the number that you put in, divides it equally. If it doesn't divide equally by 12, it will round it up or down in December. If you know right here office supplies, you can put it in, if I use an equal sign and I put in here $500 and I say adjust, it will go ahead and it will put that in that cell. If you use the dollar sign, now I don't have anything in here, but if we'll put something in there. So if I put a dollar sign here and I put in $10 and I say adjust value, because it was a positive 10, it appended it to the existing cell. If I put a dollar sign and I put a negative sign, a negative number in there, it will do the same thing. It'll append to it, so a negative 25 to that would make that X. So, but if I put in an equal in an existing cell, it will override it. Okay, so a dollar sign, negative or positive, will append, equal will replace, and a divided sign or slash will make it divide by. Any questions about that?
This is Dean with Brink. I did have a question on with the budget. Can we import a budget from an existing spreadsheet?
You can use VMS import to do that. So what you would want to do is, not a VMS import, you're going to want to use the Excel add-in. And so the Excel add-in tool you can download from our website.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that makes that process a lot easier because you probably already have it somewhere prepared, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and so if you need help on individual basis putting that in, I'm more than happy to help you with that.
Thanks.
Okay. Also, I put it in cents on here. It will show on your budget as rounded. So if you look on your reporting, it will round. It will not show cents here, but there is one report, one income statement that does say decimals on it, but you'd have to specifically choose that spreadsheet if you wanted to see the decimals. Otherwise, all the other reports round. Okay? Once you're happy with your budget, then you're going to say hide and final budget. Until I say final budget, it will not appear on my reports. Okay? So what I usually do is I'll put my budget in. I'm going to get out of here. Yes. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to run a income statement and a balance sheet, and I'm going to compare it from whatever I'm using to bring my information in. So if I came here and I picked, okay, here's a balance sheet. And I would tell you if I would save this. I would put this, this is your backup. And you want to compare this to, the information you're bringing in. So there's that. And then I'll go to my income statement, and I'm going to print that. My default on here is begin last month, end last month. And I always do my budget because I'm going to compare, use this report too to compare that I put my budget in right. Okay? And then everything looks great. It balances to the reports. Then I move on. I'm all done. So I've done that. So I'm going to go close. I'm going to go to entry. I'm going to go to closing. And I'm going to put, now, normally you wouldn't be doing it on the last day like this month. But so Treasure Cove is right here. The current period is 8. I'm going to put it into September. So here's September. Let's say process and process. Okay. Now, whenever you close, you have to completely get out of VMS and come back in for it to recognize the new date. Okay. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my billing, 491. So I'll go to account maintenance. I have to watch the other screen in case it pops up there. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the billing tab. I'm going to select my property. So I'm going to say all billing. I'm going to just do treasurer for the moment. All right. And it starts at 9/1. So I'm going to say process and post it. Once it's done, it's going to print a report, and then it's going to cross this off with a red line. So and then it's going to say next resident billing will be for 10/1. There we go. And if I was to refresh, you'll see it says 10/1 now right there. Okay. If I go to resident file, so we'll just bring in, here we go, bring that one. And there we go. There's our property. If I go to the AR account, I see my balance brought in and my new billing. Okay. You'll notice right here, the billing is where it came from. The memo was the name I gave it in account maintenance, but the ADR posting code is right here. So that's the code, but this was what I put in the memo section, when I gave it a title. So and I called it monthly assessment there. Now, I can do a couple things. I can go in and I can print statements in-house by going to report generator if you wanted to send them. But if you needed to create a new coupon file, we're going to do that next. So if I was going to do them in-house, I would say Treasure Cove. I would go find my statement that I liked. I should have one called, coupons and statements, and you'll notice, thank you, that we have a lot, okay? So you would go in and choose the one that you want, and then you just print it just like any other report. Now, that error was because I had all properties and one of the other properties wasn't set up, so it wasn't going to print. So you won't get that error. Now, I'm going to do coupon. If I want to send a file to South Data for coupons or statements, I will go to Entry. I will go to Coupon Maintenance. The first tab just says, who I'm going to include. My all records, my billing, my management company. In this property, it's only going to be my all. It doesn't really matter that I'm only going to be doing owner accounts. If there was another one, the special, I can uncheck it if I want. Okay. I'm going to go to coupons because I think that's what I set my, nope. There we go. I wonder if there's statements. Okay, so if you look, something's missing. So let's go find out what it is. Setup, property setup, that's always good. Oh, I know exactly what's wrong. So I'm going to just tell you what you for in general. The things like that, if I was going to go do a coupon and I wouldn't, or even I got an error, first of all, I need to know what your default AR posting code is, payments, because remember the payment here is showing here what bank account. Then it would go and look at the chart of accounts. Do I have an account number and a routing number set up, okay, for that GL account number? So it would look for that. It also would look to see if you have billing set up, and I do, so that's good. So what am I missing? Well, if I put coupon, the product type, it wants to know, are you making statements or coupons, okay? So we're going to do coupons. There's also a maintenance type here. We're going to be doing an export. The rest of the information automatically gets filled in. The bank BA number is going to come in, which is the coupon code, because I set it up on the billing tab. The client number is going to come in from program control, where I set up for the account number with South Data. And other information was something that we used to create a PIF file and could send to them, but now they no longer accept it, so I don't even fill it in because South Data makes you do it manually. So what I was missing was I didn't tell it what my product type was. That was the big thing. So that and export. So now it's going to work. So now when we go into entry, we're going to go to coupon maintenance. Once again, I pick my parameters of who and what I want to do. If I go to coupon and I go to annual, I should see Treasure Cove. There it is. Now you can say what day you want to start. So there through your end date, if you're going to do coupons. And that right here, you want to say all. And I have to tell you, I never do it right. When we first used to use the software, it was ready, and then it became all. And when I'm doing training, I always pick the wrong one. Watch, so I did the right one this time. Hey, I did. Shocker. Okay, so now it's creating. It's going to create a file. Now, it will also tell you if something was wrong. And this was just that PIF file because I didn't fill out any information. So I knew that was going to be that. I said, yep, go ahead and create the file. So then it's going to tell me how many records. It made 26. This file always will get exported. Usually it's going to be your VMS data folder under coupon, but you have control over that. In your setup, your program control, there is a coupon tab, and if you don't want it to go there and you want it to go somewhere else, you just tell it right here. Okay, so this is where mine went, right there. And there was my account number for South Data. So I'm going to go there. Okay, and there's this file. I've got to put that parentheses. Okay, so there's everybody. So there's the account number. Here's the DDA number. This is the account number for the homeowner, their information, so on and so forth. And now I can log into my South Data account and upload that file. Okay? The reason it's not going in the South Data file is because that got omitted, that backslash. Now it'll go into that folder. Okay. So today, since this goes away, we went in and we created a property. We used the general ledger, brought in our beginning balances. We put in our budgets. We did our closing, and we created coupons. Now you can go a step further if you'd like and do your bank reconciliation. So I would go in. If you start a new property and you have outstanding checks or deposits, let me know and I'll meet with you on one-to-one to show you how to enter in that data. I'll come in here. My beginning balance is going to be that 98,029.01. I would go right here. I would grab a statement. Oh, I don't have one, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, you can add it right there. Check off. So when your debits and credits, then go ahead and post it. And you have your bank reconciliation. So the very first one's pretty darn easy because it's usually just the beginning balance. And then from then on, but the nice part is when you go back in next time, it's going to show, you know, your beginning balance will be that, you know, $98,000, and then you would just do your reconciliation like you do probably any other one. Reconciliations are pretty simple. All right. Any questions?
I don't think so.
None?
Not from me.
Okay. Oh, you, how's everybody doing? Have you played with it, set up?
Not too much. We just brought our vendors in.
Okay. Well, this is our only class this week, so I will be on site with a client tomorrow and on Wednesday. So if you have any problems, send your request to support at TeamSoft online, and then one of our other technicians can get back and answer the questions. I'll be back on Thursday, so some of you I'm going to be scheduling a meeting with anyway, and then we can work through your conversions or anything else that you want to go through, or if you have any questions. But if you don't have any questions, play with this. You have, you know, all the different steps. You know, go in and, if you're a user, go in and create a property that's yours, that you're just going to play with, you know, because you want to actually get used to playing with it and going through those different exercises. It will help you remember when you go to use this live. Okay? So I will, unless you email me and tell me you need something, I'll either be calling you directly about an open issue that we might have going, or I will talk to you next Monday. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.